welcome back. I am not actually in Michigan anymore. I'm in Carlsbad, New Mexico, but I actually wanted to finish up my Michigan video. Um, so I did get up to the Upper Peninsula, Mackinac Island, and the Upper Peninsula, and it was beautiful. I loved Michigan. It was kind of interesting because, like think I had mentioned a while back, I hadn't been there since like I was, I don't know, 10 years old, 9 or 10 years old, but. So it was nice to be back there. Plus, I had never been to the northern part or even to the Upper Peninsula, and really enjoyed the Upper Peninsula. Went to Mackinac Island. I went to, which was really interesting. It's funny because they don't allow cars out there. They just have horses and buggies and mostly bicycles. And it seemed like most of the horse and buggies were more, and I'm sure maybe people have their own. I don't know. But see, most of them were like more tourist oriented, kind of like they were, I guess, horse-drawn buses, I guess you could say, because they had several rows to take tourists around. But it was really interesting. I mean, it's a beautiful island. I don't know that I could live out there, but I could see why people would go there in the summer because it is beautiful. I mean, I would guess most of it is probably summer home property. Because I would think it'd be kind of isolated or feel kind of isolated in the wintertime. But yeah, really beautiful. And just, going to the Upper Peninsula was amazing. I went to Whitefish Point to the shipwreck museum, the Great Lakes Shipwreck Museum, which was really interesting. Of course, they had a lot of the, history of the different shipwrecks. And of course, the most well-known is the Edmund Fitzgerald. And they actually had the bell that they retrieved from the Edmund Fitzgerald. So that was pretty interesting. Stayed at a Harvest Host up there. It was actually a Harvest Host where the owners, it's really a private residence, but the owners live in Texas. She's originally from Texas. Her husband's from Michigan, and I guess as a kid he used to go up there with his family. So they decided to buy some property, to go up during the summer. And so they, since there's not a lot of Harvest Hosts there, they also RV, and they thought, let's just open this up to Harvest Hosts. So that was really nice. They were right on the lake, right on Lake Superior. And then I started to work my way. I don't know that I had mentioned this or not, but I was originally intending to go to the Oregon coast to a Coachman meetup, Coachman Class B meetup. But it would have been, I think I had about week and a half of time to kind of roam around on my way there, and I was going to be going through North Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, corner of Washington State, Oregon, heading to the coast, and all of that area was under a heat wave, like over 100 degrees, and I'm like, nah, I can't do this. Mainly because I had never been to any of those states, and I really wanted to, explore, see things, do things. But with the heat, I can't boondock, and I can't stay at a Harvest Host, which is basically boondocking. Because of me, I can't take the heat, and obviously with Misty, she's got to, got to make sure that she's comfortable. So I changed my plans. I got as far as Minnesota. I was actually staying at a KOA for one night as I was heading that way, and so I was planning my next few days, and I started looking at the weather, and I'm like, oh gosh, no, I can't do this. If it was one day, I would have tolerated it. Kind of like when I went to Vegas. I was only there for really 2 days. One day being, spending with Nuvo, and so the day before, I hung out in the van because it was so hot. And, like that kind of situation, I don't mind it so much because I know it's like temporary and I'm really there for a reason. But if it's going to be like the entire trip until I get to the coast, then it's just not worth it to me. So I'd rather go at a time when, the weather's a little bit better. So I turned around and came back through the Upper Peninsula and then back down into Michigan, into the Lower Peninsula, or I guess they call it Lower Peninsula, main part of the Mitten. And I stayed actually at a KOA that was on Bradford Lake, and it was a pretty new KOA, and I'm mentioning it because it was beautiful. I was talking to one of the people that worked there, and originally it had been, I think he said like 100 and something sites, like they were all just like lined up like a parking lot, and the owners reduced it by half pretty much. so that each site was nice. You know, you had a nice like patio area, grassy area, just really nice place to stay. And it was right on the lake, so they had like a little beach area, so you could actually go swimming in the lake. Just a really, really nice, peaceful setting. Definitely would go back there and spend time there. So then I went back down to Coachman because I don't know if I had mentioned this either, but after I left, what I noticed was I was trying to, you know, because I was doing a lot of boondocking because the weather was just right. And so trying to heat the hot water with gas, I was like, the gas would not come on. Like it just wouldn't connect. It kept arrowing out and stuff. So thought it was the solenoid. But it turns out when the Firefly guy worked on my panel up there, he pulled the whole section down and it disconnected the switch. So got that taken care of. So now I have propane again, or access to my propane again, which is good. But I really just wanted to finish this video out and put some clips in here of just my travels around Michigan, because it was just beautiful. Temperature wise, I actually miss it because like I said at the beginning, I'm here in Carlsbad and it's close to, it was over 100 yesterday and it's pretty close to 100 today. I went to take the trash out and you can really, I mean, you could feel it. But more on that later. That'll be in the next video. I'm not really doing anything here in Carlsbad this time because it's too hot. But where I went instead of going to Oregon was Colorado, and went to the Adventure Van Expo there and met up with Neil and Britt. So I've got some video from the Adventure Van Expo and some of the places we went to. So I'm going to do a separate video on that. But just wanted to finish up here with Michigan, and I will see you in the next video.
But here at the mystery spot, it does not work that way, because what goes down doesn't like to stay down. It actually makes its way right on back. I can place this ball anywhere, and it still wants to roll right on up there. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where are the magnets? Where's the string? Maybe someone's inside the gift shop pulling on it like in the string one of the exits, I'm sure. This is a completely normal ball. I can also do the same exact thing with a cup of water. If you watch the bucket, I can pour the water in here. The water also makes its way right on up. Now, the reason for this is that here at the mystery spot, we do have a stronger gravitational pull that pulls more towards the east than does the west. To my left, I have a table that sits roughly about 2 feet off the ground. If I were to get up onto this table anywhere else, it would take some effort to get up onto it. But actually, getting up onto this table here is the same thing as stepping up onto a 6-inch string. I'll show you how you do this. Right over here, you step right on up. Woo! The gravity really takes me to the wall. I collect to the edge, look under the table a little bit, put my hands quiet. I can even go backwards, 1 foot leg will fall off. Again, feels like I'm standing straight up, but it does not look like it. You ready to catch me?
back over our stern here. The stern railing actually used to sit a little bit higher. About a decade ago in 2014, we had a really nasty winter. Pushed that stern railing right down into the vessel. Over 7 feet of ice just in Murray's Bay here.
Building that ship, just think of that.
Going over our rear cargo hatch. You can swim through one cargo hatch and go up the other. This vessel was actually originally built for the grain trade around the lower lakes, Lake Michigan. She sustained some damage and she got retrofitted during the iron ore boom as soon as it started. Came up to Lake Superior and started shipping iron ore. We're passing back over our bow at the Bermuda, the most photographed bow in all the Great Lakes due to its age, its accessibility, and its condition.
This is a good shoreline to spot bald eagles. They like to perch in these taller barren trees here. There is a nest coming up around this corner. I did see an eagle right here last year. I don't see anybody home right now. Actually, around this corner, you're going to see Grand Island's only piece of graffiti. The sophomores of '67 probably thought they were pretty smart coming out here late at night with a can of spray paint. They were so smart that they almost spelled it right. So there's supposed to be 3 O's in sophomores. It's sophomores. So maybe they didn't graduate until 1968. And there's an eagle's nest about 100 feet past us. Look at this big white pine with all the drooping branches. It looks kind of like a Dr. Seuss tree here. There's a nest right at the top of that tree, so keep watching it as we pass it. You might see an eagle sitting there, or one of the nearby trees. The eagles tend to come back to their nests. Do you see one? They're good, good eye. So the eagles will continually add weight to their nests until eventually the nests get heavy enough they take the tree down. Just navigating into the channel. It was operated until 1909 and then abandoned in 1913. It was replaced by a pair of range light towers, which are now located back in South Munising Bay. And their location today serves a better purpose because the range lights are more visible from further out. And we can see one of the range lights there back in Munising, the red light behind us that replaced this. This lighthouse is privately owned today by landowners in Grand Island. They've done a lot of hard work to ensure its preservation. They rebuilt most of the inner structure. That's all new siding, weather grade. And the top of that tower's been renovated with new copper sheeting. It's starting to oxidize now. It turns green, kind of like the Statue of Liberty does. And if it looks familiar, it should. The front of our gift shop was modeled to look like this, built to the same scale. And a little info about the keeper. The last keeper was a guy by the name of George Pryor. He and his wife spent nearly 20 years here. They raised several children at the lighthouse and they lived an isolated life. So they used to keep some barn animals. They had a cow, chicken, vegetable gardens. Or chickens and vegetable gardens. And his annual salary was $400